I believe there's a little bit of truth in every sort of rumor that starts. Stereotypes, for instance, have a little bit of truth in all of them, which is why they persist over time. I'm not saying that stereotypes are nice, but I am saying, if you really think about it, there's a little bit of truth in it, isn't it? Blind items are like shopping at Ross. You'll find some gold there because there are sprinkles of truth, but you're going to have to sort through all the shit. So, class, we're going to take a little bit of a detour. A little bit less philosophical musings and a little bit more just come learn with me. It's pretty funny. People always act as if like I'm constructing some sort of narrative about Britney Spears, like I have an end goal in sight. That's not the way this works. That's not the way good research should be, at least. You find the clues as they are. You make your logical deductions and inferences backwards. You're solving a mystery. You're not constructing anything. Things don't have to fit. You just have to see where the pieces fall. And that's what I do. Or that's what I think I feel like I'm doing. This is where understanding defamation law is very interesting and very useful with blind items. So, for defamation law, someone is liable if they purposely publish a lie or if they did it with reckless abandonment. Meaning they didn't care. They didn't care to check or verify, and they just posted it and they ruined your reputation. So for a blind item to remain up usually means there's not a good argument to sue. Now, because the world is not black and white, we can't really just assume that anything that's removed was not true and that they were liable to defamation and they got a cease and desist and they stopped. Sometimes someone can be so on the money that they're threatened with other things, bodily harm, death, you name it. So what does it mean for us? It means that we really have to critically think, consider all blind items, and weed through all the shit at Ross to find like that brand name item that we know is there. I've been compiling a lot of blind items the last few weeks because one of my favorite sources to check information and learn about the world used to be Answers.Yahoo, and then Quora that I have to log in or make an account, and Reddit, because I think that personal stories, anecdotes, those are where you really get the real. Google can tell me things, but Google points me to things. Documentaries can teach me about the world, but documentaries are biased. Anonymous people online are less likely to be biased. Sometimes, yeah, there are planted items, but you can usually see them. It's like when someone posts a post on Reddit, but it's a company and they're like trying to hype themselves out, you can see it. But somebody who's like on some obscure fucking forum talking about their experience is less likely to have an agenda. Anonymity gives people what I think feels like license to tell their truth, and it also takes away a lot of spin, a lot of PR. So, what have I heard? I've heard a lot of things. I was looking in 2016, but then I started going backwards. Started looking at 2008, 2004, because those also seem like years of importance somehow. So, the first blind item is one that was reviewed in 2012. Blind item reviewed. You know that the required physical from yesterday? Reason for the physical? Abortion. Father? Unknown. It's interesting now in light of the book, isn't it? For most blind items, you'll get a reporting about who it is in the review about a couple years after the initial events. It gives it some time for the heat to die down, I suppose. So, what's interesting about the next one is it's almost 15 years. Britney Spears' lost album, Original Doll. Isn't it weird that it's not in the book at all? This was her first foray into creative control. This is right after Into the Zone. This is before she has kids. It's probably the peak of her creativity in her career. It probably resurges back in 2016 when she's doing the Glory album. So, let me read the blind item for you right now. There's a reason that the song named after a painting was never widely released from the camp of the permanent A-list singer. It hits way too close to home. Posted at 10:30 a.m., July 15th, 2020. I think this is also around the time that the blind item about her running away. Something that was so important to you that was kind of like your baby. Your first baby, to be honest. Why isn't it in the book? More importantly, why is the blind item being reviewed now in 2020? Almost like 15 years later. That's weird. And what do they mean? What do they mean by clones? Do they mean about the figurative ones that we see all over her page, her account, her brand, her name? The people that are copying her? Or are we going to get there? And are we talking about literal clones? I actually spent almost like a couple hours looking at blind items. They were really interesting, so I think it deserves and it warrants maybe another episode, just specifically me going through patterns and the specific blind items that I found. Other one that we're going to talk about in the next episode comes out, again, 15, 20 years later. It's about a rumor about Britney Spears being HIV positive. And it's not a one-off. There were many blind items that specifically said Britney Spears was HIV positive. This one comes out in 2020 and just dismisses it. It's weird. Why now? I want to talk about all the strange patterns that I'm seeing in the blind items, and it will come out because I have already recorded it. Stay tuned. And let's talk about her brother's Instagram account, supposedly. Until then, this has been This Ninja Nerd's Thoughts, THOTS, because I'm obscene that way. And if you don't think so, some of our bitch already said it about me on the internet. Jesus. I can't understand jokes. So close your mouth when you eat. Okay. If we're just going to give each other orders, stop typing. So, which one do you guys think may be true or not? And are you interested in a part 2? So, I don't want anyone to feel like they're being gypped out of this. So, if you're a paid subscriber, on episodes where I'm not talking shit about people and I'm not having a bunch of my feelings, which is what I've been including in the past few episodes, I'm going to give you the next episode. I'm just going to include it, like especially like a video like this, where there's so much information that I wanted to split into 2 parts. You're pretty much going to get most of next week's episode. And for anyone who's not a paid subscriber, you'll get it too, just later. And I think that makes it fair for everyone. I'll really be playing though, acting like I want to be on a schedule, be like, next week, you guys, like everyone fucking knows my schedule is whenever the fuck it comes on. So, sorry about that. I have to have your shit together in order for your stuff to be in order. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. But for now, I'll try to keep these as consistent as I can. But let's be real, it's kind of hard with the videos, so thank you for sticking around.